Great. We'll move to question 2 for Irena from Switzerland. What made you realise transgenderism is a threat to women's rights? Can you tell us about opposition to gender identity politics in your country?
A little over a year ago, I participated in an event organised by the Equality and Diversity Office of my ex-university about transgender people. The speaker was a trans-identified man, member of the Transgender Network Switzerland, which lobbies for the rights for transgender people in my country. The person, dressed in women's clothing, was obviously a man. He began his remarks with a typical Swiss greeting pronounced with his strong German accent. Grüezi, I am. And then he said his name. My pronoun is sie, which means she in German. So to me, he started with an imposition. He wanted the public to see something that wasn't there, a woman. I couldn't see her, expecting us to believe it. After some lamentos and after talking about transgender awareness, he proudly reported how the Transgender Network Switzerland had already achieved that Lucerne University has all gender restrooms, means taking away safe spaces from women. Here you can see a pic of the event I found on my ex-institution's homepage. Again, I'd like to draw your attention to the gender store. So that's a pic of the event, and I would like to draw your attention to the gender store. Here's the Tim, and I'm sitting in the public. So, and then his presentation was followed by a Q&A session. Very few questions were asked. It seemed to me that everyone was devotedly agreeing with everything he had said, or simply afraid of contradicting. Because I was still dependent on this university and knowing that one could face considerable difficulties and stigma if one opposed identity politics, I did not ask a question, but I mentioned a concern. I'm worried about the fertility of transgender people. So this was the trans-identified male's reply. Persons with a uterus background can transition back for the duration of a pregnancy, give birth, and then slip back into their gender of choice. For all other persons, there is the wide range of reproductive medicine at their disposal. I had been shocked by the ease with which this Tim spoke about the exploitation of women's bodies and about reproductive prostitution. Find the error. It is important for me to mention that, of course, I do not dispute this Tim's right to his human rights, but women are not incubators for trans-identified males. Women are not there to be industrialized so that babies can be formed and harvested from them, and Tim can thus achieve the goals. At this very moment I knew I will raise my voice against men disrespecting and using women while claiming to be themselves a woman. A few months later, I then was further alarmed by the fact that my son's rugby coach slowed me down and silenced me. I had posted an article about trans quotation marks women, Tim, in our rugby parents chat. It was about trans-identified males, men, playing in female teams, and the risk of them hurting female players. The coach found it discriminatory to address this problem, discriminatory towards the Tim. My wokeness about transgenderism being a threat to women did also rise by the way J.K. Rowling has been treated by transgender people, and this has strengthened my radical feminist convictions. I go on about the resistance. Institutions such as churches are very little vocal against transgenderism, and they prefer to keep silence while facing obnoxious ideologies. On the other hand, there is a Christian foundation, Zukunft CH, which means Swiss future. CH is the country code for Switzerland. So Zukunft has been campaigning against the ideology from the desert for years, and since 2016 they also campaign against transgenderism, especially in children. They have excellent experts on both topics. The problem is that they are considered to be religious fundamentalists or even right-wing extremists, and I'm quite sure that you all recognize the familiar pattern to silence and deplatform people who disagree and oppose. Personally, I appreciate their work, and I'm saying that as a humanist and an agnostic. Then there is the conservative political party SVP, Swiss People's Party, of which I'm not a member. It advocated that only intersex people can change their personal status in a simplified way. But transsexual people have to go through the courts. Unfortunately, they did not succeed with their request. As mentioned before, since the 18th December this year, transsexuals simply have to appear at the Civil Rights Registry Office and have their sex changed. Means biological men get access to women's safe spaces. So that was about the resistance, and I told you before how I got aware about it. Thank you.